And welcome back to the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. This is episode number 86. My name's Ismael San Thank you so much for being here. Do gotta apologize. It's been over a week since the last episode. I was busy. There was other stuff I had to do, and I couldn't find the time to sit down and talk to you guys, talk to the mic, voice my opinions. So for that, I do apologize. But let's get to it. The Super Bowl has come and gone. There's been tennis tournaments that have come and gone. Felix Auger Aliassime is now a champion, so shout out to him. Acapulco is here now. Acapulco Mexico Open is here. Dubai Open is here. Djokovic is back. The All-Star weekend just passed. It was very, very, upsetting. Didn't live up to the hype, the dunk contest, but the three-point contest was still alright. The game was, mixed bag. And what else we got to talk about? Bronny, Lebron. Is that going to happen? LeBron's basically guaranteeing Bronny a ticket in the NBA. What do we think about all of that? Is Stafford a Hall of Fame player after winning the Super Bowl? There's a lot of things we got to talk about, and we're going to get to it on this episode. So thank you for returning to the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. I know it's been over a week, but you know what? Let's get to it. The Super Bowl. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. It's been over a week since it ended, so I just want to apologize again that I didn't get to talk about it, but what a game, right? 23-20. The Rams beat the Bengals. I did have the Rams winning, so shout out to the Rams for proving me right after the Chiefs proved me wrong last year, and I put a lot of money on them. But anyways, the Rams win. Stafford is a champion. OBJ is a champion. Aaron Donald's a champion. Von Miller is a champion again. My boy Eric Weddle comes back from retirement. He's the champion now. Andrew Whitworth, 40-year-old man, is a champion. Sean McVay is a champion. There's a lot of people. Aaron Ramsey's a champion. There's a lot of people on the Rams teams that, they needed that championship to cement their career, to really, cement this era of the Rams in LA, going all in, trading your first round pick for established players, putting all the chips in, and the Rams get it done. So I applaud the Rams because I like their philosophy. Go all in, put the chips in. If you have a good team, basically fuck it. Fuck it if we're over the cap. Fuck it if, our cap situation is kind of ruined 2-3 years down the line. Fuck it if we got to give up our first round picks. Let's swing for the fences. Let's go for it. Let's do it. Let's get rid of Goff. He's mediocre. We all know he's mediocre. It doesn't matter that he got me to the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter that he did all this other stuff. It doesn't matter that he threw for over 4,000 yards, over 30 touchdowns a couple seasons. It doesn't matter. We all know the eye test doesn't lie. That he's not it. Let's go get Stafford, who's not a top 3, top 5 quarterback, but who is a top 10 quarterback who should be able to get you over the hump. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's trade for Von Miller before the trade deadline. Let's trade for Aaron Ramsey when he wanted to get out of Jacksonville. Let's just push all the chips in. Let's go get OBJ once the Browns don't want him. Let's do it. Let's feel the sense of urgency. Let's feel that our front office is all in. Let's feel that that we're really about winning championships, and that's all that matters. Let's do it. So the Rams have done that. They've been one of the teams that have consistently, really set the tempo, really built that environment where we're going to go for it, and we're going to keep going for it, and we're going to keep going for it, and we're going to keep going for it, and they finally get it. So shout out to the Rams. I prefer that better than teams that, not to harp on the Packers or something, but they've had Aaron Rodgers, and I feel like they've never really gone for it. They've never gotten the free agents. They've never made the trades. They've never done all this stuff. They're just happy to have Aaron Rodgers. And obviously Aaron Rodgers has his faults too in the playoffs, but I feel like the Packers don't go all in. And maybe if they went all in, they would have had more than one championship with Aaron Rodgers. But nevertheless, I'm happy for all those players. I'm especially happy for OBJ after all the drama that he went his whole career, basically. The fallout he had with the Giants, the fallout that he had with the Browns, people questioning his character, people saying that Baker Mayfield was a victim of OBJ and all this stuff. We've all heard Skip Bayless saying that, he's a distraction. We can't judge Baker Mayfield because OBJ is ruining him. That was all a bunch of baloney. We all know that was cap. That was all just media spinning it, always hating on OBJ just because He likes to paint his hair. He likes to be fun on the field. So super happy for him to win it. Also happy. Well, I'm not happy for OBJ that he tore his ACL. He was having an exceptional game. He had the first touchdown for the Rams. Just a nice catch, going up, high pointing the ball. And he had another big catch. And it looked like he was on his way to possibly, if Cooper Kupp won the Super Bowl MVP and, he did his thing. He got his 2 touchdowns and he didn't top 100 yards. OBJ was definitely like trending towards Super Bowl MVP if you look at the first quarter and how he was playing. So it's unfortunate that he got injured and now he's going to have to go through a grueling rehab process, and we'll see if he ever gets paid again. But that man just looked happy after that game. He just looked relieved. He looked like he had found his peace. He was just happy to be a champion, so I'm happy for OBJ. Shout out to OBJ. I am so happy that you're a champion. Eric Weddle, ex-Charger. When I was a Charger fan, before they abandoned us and left us for LA, Eric Weddle was one of the stars for the Chargers, the beard. He was the leader of that defense. I'll always have love for Eric Weddle, even though he kind of talked bad about the Chargers after the Super Bowl win, talked bad about their GM and their ownership and stuff like that. And he basically said, when they let me go, I said I was going to have the last laugh, and, I'm having the last laugh. And it's true, but I'm just happy for Eric Weddle. He's been a great player with the Chargers, with the Ravens. He's been a great player, Cinderella story. Like, this story is just crazy. 2 years retired. Rams lose their safeties to injuries. There's not that many good safeties out in the market. They hit up, 38-year-old Eric Weddle, and he pulls up and he ends up leading the Rams in tackles in the postseason. He ends up wearing the green dot on his helmet in the Super Bowl, calling the plays. He tore his pec or something, and he keeps on playing. Like, it's just crazy what Weddle was able to do, and to lead the team in tackles, to not just come back and play like a little bit and get a couple tackles and just not play bad, like to lead the team in tackles, and you could actually see his impact on the field. Incredible by Eric Weddle. I'm super happy for him. And Aaron Donald, people are having him in the conversation with the greatest defensive players of all time. And I know it's fitting. Pro Bowl, all pros, like almost every season, if not every season. Like, he's just an animal. He's dominant. He needed the Super Bowl, and he made the plays at the end of the game. He stopped Perrine in the 3rd and 1, and then he got the pressure on Burrow on the 4th and 1. And everyone saw the replay, Jamar Chase was open. Or if Burrow would have had time to scan the whole field, you would have seen Jamar Chase being wide open. So the plays that Aaron Donald did to save the game, to basically wrap it up. Basically after he pushed Burrow at the end, on the Bengals sideline, and the Bengals players were trying to get on his face, that's when a switch flipped. That was the Bengals' worst mistake. They got Aaron Donald mad, and it showed on the field. But overall, it was a good Super Bowl, from the halftime show to the game to like the highs and lows of, me as a neutral kind of, but rooting for the Rams, rooting for OBJ, rooting for Weddle, seeing OBJ go down. I'm seeing the Rams offense kind of stall out. The Bengals score. They have that crazy play to start the second half where Aaron Ramsey gets his helmet pulled, and then there's a no call. And it was a lot of emotions. And then the Rams defense just keeping them in the game. Stafford leading them down the field when they really needed to have it. Cooper Kupp getting the touchdown. And then Aaron Donald putting his stamp on it at the end. It was a good Super Bowl. It was a good Super Bowl. That's all I wanted. Last time the Rams were in the Super Bowl, it was a very boring game. Very, a snooze fest against the Patriots. Probably one of the worst Super Bowls in recent memory. So for the Rams and the Bengals to put on a good show, I was happy. Like I said, the halftime show was amazing. We cooked some food at the house. It was good. Everything. I have fond memories. A week out from the Super Bowl, I have a lot of fond memories for the Super Bowl. So shout out to the Rams for winning it. Shout out to the Bengals for putting up a fight. A lot of people are saying the Bengals are going to be back. I don't want to harp on their party, and I want to be a negative Nancy, but dude, that AFC stacked. That's all I got to say. There's no guarantees that the Bengals are going to come back. And even if they don't, like, it's all good, man. They had a great season. They hadn't won a playoff game in like 30-something years, and they made it to the Super Bowl. It was amazing. Amazing season by the Bengals, and like Burrow said, you're gonna be sad for a little bit, but you gotta take a step back and appreciate the season for what it was. And I think if the Bengals look back at their season, it was a great season. Are they gonna come back? Who knows? The AFC stacked, but overall, great fucking Super Bowl. But the question that everyone keeps asking after the Super Bowl is Matthew Stafford Hall of Fame bound? And that's a very interesting question, because Matthew Stafford played 12 years with the Lions, probably the worst franchise in NFL history. They're terrible. The reason they got Matthew Stafford is because they went 0-16. So, you can't really fault Matthew Stafford for not being able to fix the franchise, for not being able to turn it around, for not being able to be a perennial playoff team, for not being able to get Pro Bowls and All Pros and all that stuff. Because to be a Pro Bowler, to get All Pros, first team All Pro, like you gotta be in a winning team. It doesn't matter if you put up great stats, if your team's like 2-14, 6-10, like whatever record, 5-11. Like you can't. You gotta be at least 9-7, 8. You gotta make the playoffs, at least like a 6 seed or something. I know there's 7 seeds now, but back in the day, 6 seed. Like you just gotta show that your numbers mean something. Like that your impact, like you're really impacting the score, the games, all that stuff. To be a Pro Bowler, to be a first team All Pro, more All Pro than Pro Bowler, because the Pro Bowl is a joke. But anyways, I digress. Is he a Hall of Famer? Like it's tough because I saw the statistic. He has been in the NFL since it's turned pass happy. So he's the quickest to like 25,000 yards. He's the quickest 30, 35, 40. He's the quickest to almost like all the barometers of yards. I don't know about touchdowns, but I do know yards. And he's had some like 40 plus touchdown seasons. And the one time he had a competent coach with Caldwell, and he made the playoffs, and he never won a playoff game before this season, but he made the playoffs with Caldwell, and they had some type of success, and then they fired Caldwell because the Lions are a joke of an organization and they don't know what they're doing. But one Pro Bowl, 13 years, like 3 or 4 playoff wins now that he's with the Rams, 1 Super Bowl, no Super Bowl MVPs. The numbers do look good. Is he a Hall of Famer? I would say right now, no. Just because there's a lot of Lions years that we can't just ignore. And obviously the Lions are atrocious, but the one caveat, or like the pushback that I think Stafford will have is like not just that the Lions, like we'll see how the Lions turn it around if they continue to suck for like the next 10-15 years, and I think it'll strengthen Stafford's case. But if you look at how Burrow turned around the Bengals, not as bad as the Lions. They were a perennial playoff team with AJ Green and Andy Dalton, and even the early stages of Mixon. So not as bad as the Lions, but the last few seasons before Burrow, they were terrible. They were a bad team. And Burrow gets there. They draft a couple pieces. They get him, they get Burrow his Megatron, which is like Jamar Chase. Not the same player, but I'm just saying like an elite number 1. They put some pieces around him, and boom, Super Bowl. Playoffs, Super Bowl, like they just get it done. So Burrow could do it with the Bengals, but Stafford couldn't do it with the Lions. You know what I'm saying? Those are where they're gonna nitpick at Stafford when he's trying to make his Hall of Fame case. Like why could Burrow do it with the Bengals and you couldn't do it with the Lions? I know it's not the same. The Lions are something else, but still. Well, he does have the stats. He does have the numbers. He does have the Super Bowl now, and he does have the Rams ecosystem going for him. Like the Rams, if Sean McVay stays, if Aaron Donald stays, they keep Ramsey. Cooper Kupp is there. We'll see what happens with OBJ and Robert Woods and all of that. But if he makes the playoffs the next 3-4 years, he's pretty much a lock for 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns the next few years. So let's say the next 4 years he makes the playoffs every single time. That's like what? Like he made like the playoffs like once or twice with the Lions in 12 years. Let's say he makes it to the playoffs 5 years in a row, 6 years in a row. That means 18-year career, 16-year career. He'll make the playoffs like 6 times. That's not too bad. You know, one third of the years. Let's say he doesn't have to win another Super Bowl. Let's say he makes another NFC Championship. Maybe he gets to another Super Bowl. I don't think he has to win another one to be Hall of Fame. But if you just give him four or five more years of 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, that's another 120 touchdowns. That's another 16 to 20,000 more yards. And at that point, I think like there's no denying that he's a Hall of Famer. Like he'll be so high up in the stats. He'll be 6-time playoff appearances. Like he'll have 6 runs on him. Let's say he wins 1 or 2 playoff games every season. Like just wins the wild card, wins the divisional or something like that. 2-1, 1-1, 0-1, 2-1. Like that playoff numbers will start looking better. He is one of the clutchest quarterbacks of all time. He has a lot of fourth quarter comebacks. He did have really good fourth quarter numbers in the playoff run. There's a lot of stuff that could start coming his way. So I would say just right now, I wouldn't say he's a Hall of Famer, but I could definitely see how he will be a Hall of Famer 3-4 years down the line. So my money, if I was a betting man, I would say that Matt Stafford does make the Hall of Fame. And I could see where people would be like, what? Like, dude, he's not no Hall of Famer right now. But I could see how he ends up in the Hall of Fame 3-4 years down the line. It's just like, you just got to look at the numbers. You give him 16,000 more yards. You give him like 110, 120 more touchdowns. Like, bro, like look at the numbers. Super Bowl champion. First year in the system, he wins it. Like you got, like, that's Hall of Fame, dude. There's no denying it. He does that. He's a Hall of Famer. He retires this year or next year. He's not a Hall of Famer. Put it that way. But I think those numbers are realistic. Let me know if you think they're, there's no way he does that. I think they're very realistic. So to end this video, I think he'll make the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done. Felix wins at Rotterdam. He is now an ATP champion for the first time in his career. Felix Auger Aliassime says that this is the greatest day of his career. Shout out to FAA. It's a long time coming. Like 21 years old, his 8th final, and he finally gets it done. His maiden trophy, and I'm just so happy for the kid, man. I'm so happy for the guy. Like, you saw how he started the season. He wins the ATP Cup with Canada, pulling up an upset, and you're like, okay, good for him, happy for him. Like, you're kind of like, damn, he's super happy. It's a team competition, good for Canada. Like, but when is he gonna win his first ATP title? And then he does really good in the Australian Open, like really, really good. Like, he looked scary. He looked very scary, and then he loses to Medvedev in a 5-set after being up 2-0 on Medvedev, and it looked like he could have won it. There was a tiebreak in the 3rd set where he had his chances, and he just loses 3 sets in a row and loses to Medvedev in 5. And Medvedev, who had just beaten Djokovic in the U.S. Open, who was probably one of the best, if not the best, hardcore player right now. And you're just like, okay, like it looks like something switched for him. It looked like something, he looks a little different. He looks more aggressive. His forehand looks a little more consistent. Like, he's not making so many unforced errors. He just looked like a different player on the court. Like, every match that he won in the Australian Open, it was like, okay, he looks good. He really looks good. He beats, Danny Evans. He beats, Silic. He competes against Medvedev. He has all these good moments in the Australian Open. You're like, okay, if he's playing this hot, if he comes out the gate in 2022 this hot, like, it's only a matter of time for Felix to get it done, and then he faces Tsitsipas in the finals of Rotterdam, and he beats him 6-4, 6-2, and it's just like, dude, this man is here. He has arrived. Like, make way for Felix, make way for FAA, because now that he has that monkey off the back, and you could tell that it was a big weight on his shoulders, because he let it all out after obviously it's his maiden trophy, so there's always gonna, you're always gonna feel some type of way when you win your first trophy, but it was like an extra sense of accomplishment for him, just because he's such a good player. He was in the top 10 already without winning a title. And you just got to take a quick look at YouTube, any of his videos before he won this title, and you just see people being like, oh man, this is a joke. Like, just criticizing the point system. Like, how is Felix in the top 10 and he's never won like anything? He hasn't won any titles and he's a top 10 player. Like, what a joke. Like, this is the foolery. They're making a mockery of the system. Any YouTube video, any post by Tennis TV or ATP or any of that tennis channel, if you see any of the posts, basically when he got to top 10, like, oh, congratulations, Felix, you're now a top 10 player for the first time in your career. Almost all the comments, he has 0 titles, top 10, like, this is a joke, top 10. Like, all the comments were like around the same. And I get it. It is a little eerie or a little weird that a player in the top 10 has never won a title. And, that's how much the Grand Slams are weighted differently. So, but, he had to get that monkey off the back, and he gets a very convincing victory against Tsitsipas 6-4, 6-2. The semifinal against Rublev, he dropped the first set, and it was like, okay, the old Felix would have probably lost the game, but he came back and won. And he just looked really, really good, man. And I'm very excited for him. I think he's going to have a very good 2022, very successful 2022. And I now put him in one of those categories of the players that could potentially push, the big 3, the big 2 right now for Grand Slam titles. Like, he's playing that good. And he just played the Open 13, and he lost to Rublev. Rublev is my guy. He's like number 7 in the world now, number 1 in my heart. I saw him in the San Diego Open, and I was supposed to see FFA too, but he withdrew with the elbow injury, I think. So it was unfortunate I couldn't see FAA, but I saw Rublev, and he signed my hat. I'm always going to mention that whenever I talk Rublev. But Felix just lost to Rublev in the final of the Open 13. So shout out to Rublev for getting revenge for losing in the semifinals to Felix just a week earlier at the ATP Rotterdam. So good for Rublev. Good for Felix too, getting to another final in back-to-back weeks. And he was scheduled to play at the Dubai Tennis Championships, but now he withdrew. I think he cited his back. Dubai just started today. Felix, who had a very grueling schedule these last 2 weeks, going from Rotterdam to Open 13 and making the finals in both of them. It's understandable why he would withdraw from Dubai. And Felix has said that he wants to focus on Masters 1000s. And with March right around the corner, we have Indian Wells right around the corner. So it's gonna be exciting to see Felix there. Potentially, I might even make an appearance at Indian Wells. It's right down, California. I'm in SF right now, but it's right down the 5. So I'll be at Indian Wells and I can see Felix FAA. So, but other than that, I think Felix has this amazing start to 2022. I don't think his team or himself could have drawn it better. Make a deep run in the Australian Open, win your Maiden trophy, make another final, take the necessary break, skip on Dubai, and then just go get it at the Indian Wells. But just super happy for FAA. Let me know what you guys think about him. What's his potential? He's barely 21 years old. He's one of the young guys. Younger than like Zverev and Tsitsipas and Medvedev. He's like 2-3 years younger than most of them, 5 years younger than Medvedev, and I think he's there, man. Everyone's talking about Sinner at 20 years old, and he won all these championships in 2020, 2021. But dude, I think FAA could just knock it out the park this year. He got that monkey off his back. He won the ATP finals with Canada, deep run in Australian Open, Maiden trophy, another final. Take a little break right now. Go strong at Indian Wells. Like, it's looking good, man. It's looking good for FAA, and he's such a humble guy. He always talks very like professional, and he just had this moment in the Open 13 where one of his opponents, which opponent was it? I think it was Safiullin in the semifinals. He had a point and they called it out, and Felix kind of like turned around and he thought it was in. So he told him to challenge it, and he did challenge it, and Felix lost the point because he told him to challenge it because that was the correct thing to do. Like, I even texted my buddy. I was like, dude, this was so on win right now that he doesn't care that he lost a point. He's telling him to like challenge it. Like he's such on a hot streak that he probably thought like, oh, even if I lose this point, I'm still gonna win this game, and he did. So tip my hat for Felix, sportsman. He's already showing, sportsman of the year candidate, and he started 2022 really amazing. So very happy for Felix. I expect great things from him the rest of 22, and I'm just happy he won his maiden trophy. Another young guy we got to talk about, Carlos Alcaraz, is now in the top 20 of the ATP rankings. He just won Rio, his second trophy at the ATP level. So shout out to Carlos Alcaraz. He is definitely living up to the hype. With that victory, with him now being a top 20 player, he has gotten to the top 20 at a younger age than Djokovic, than Federer, and then Nadal. He beats Nadal by like 18 days, but he still beats him. And this Carlos Alcaraz hype train is just going and going and going, and it's not going to stop, man. He's a beast. He has a forehand. His serves are getting better. It looks like he's probably going to be a clay specialist, but I think he's going to be super well-rounded, especially once his serve keeps improving. But he's a top 20 player, man, and he's only 18 years old. The sky's the limit for this kid, and he's showing it, man. The grit that he plays, the tenacity, all the intangibles that you could talk about, he has them, and he has the skills to back it up too. So, dude, if you're tired of Carlos Alcaraz, you're tired of this hype train, like, I feel sorry for you, because this is not going anywhere, man. He's just gonna keep on rising through those rankings, man. He's top 20. I can see by the time Wimbledon comes around, or even at least by the U.S. Open, he's gonna be like top 13, top 15. And by the end of the season, he's probably going to be top 10. Like, there's no denying it. Carlos Alcaraz is the hottest prospect in the ATP right now. He's only 18 years old. He's labeled as the next Nadal, and he has that Nadal, that Nadal type ferocity. But his game is, they're not the same. He has other weapons. They're not the same player, but he has that same tenacity, and I love that about Carlos Alcaraz. And he looks very humble. He looks very down to earth, and he looks like he stays very composed in tough situations, match points, 30-40 scores, break points, all of those tough moments. He looks like he takes them very, very well. And he kind of just dismantled Schwartzman in the final, dude. And it was a sight to behold, especially because Schwartzman has won the Rio Open. He's the previous champion, and Alcaraz just took him, dude. 6-4, 6-2. Alcaraz got broken in the first. Like, quickly, I think to open the game, Alcaraz was down 1-0. He couldn't hold his serve, and he didn't let that phase him at all. He just turned it around and just won the first set 6-4 after dropping his serve in the first opening game, and just wiped Schwartzman off the court in the second set 6-2. And he had very impressive wins. He beat Berrettini in the quarterfinals, Fognini in the semifinals, the Bronny's. Like, he had a very, interesting, hard road to the final, and he got it done, man. And now he's top 20. His roads, his draws are just going to continue to improve. He's going to face tougher competition later in the rounds instead of at the beginning. So dude, the sky's the limit for this kid. And I've been on board since I saw him at the U.S. Open, and I wasn't too familiar with him before the U.S. Open. I can't lie. I can't, say that I've been following this guy since, like, he was 15. Like, oh, I know him since his first year in the juniors. Like, nah, I'm not going to lie. But since I saw him at the U.S. Open, like, dude, this guy got my attention, and he looks like he's definitely the next big thing. And I'm just so happy that I'm here to witness it. And I look forward to enjoying this man's career for the next, or not even man, this kid's career for the next 10, 15 years. This future number one, dude. Like, if there was one thing I would bet on in the tennis world right now, is that this man is going to be the number one player at some point in his career. He's just that good to be an 18-year-old and be in the top 20. The sky's the limit for this guy. What do you guys think? Is the hype warranted? Like, should we calm down? He's won 2 titles. He's 18 years old. He's in the top 20 now. He just keeps climbing up the rankings. His demeanor is like everything you would want to from a tennis player. His tenacity, his hard work attitude, the way he fights for every single point. Like, this is the type of player you would want to develop if you were, one of the elite academies in the world. This is the type of player that this is the mold. This is who you want. So I'm excited. Carlos Alcaraz Garcia. He's here to stay, man. Top 20 right now, top 10 by the end of 2022, and top 5 somewhere in the middle of next year, dude. His arrow is pointing all the way up, dude. Like, it just might be like a full, like, straight up. There might not be a slant to his arrow, man. It just might just be straight up. So shout out to Alcaraz for winning Rio. Shout out for cracking top 20. The sky's the limit, my guy. The sky is the limit. And this week we have 2 very important tournaments, Acapulco and Dubai, both with star-studded draws. Djokovic is back. He's finally playing in 2022 after a long, time away from the ATP Tour. And Acapulco is back. Nadal is there. Medvedev. Are we going to see a rematch of the Australian Open? It's going to be a very fun week. In the morning, if you're in the U.S., in the morning, you wake up, catch the Dubai Open. You go to work. You keep an eye on it. Then you get off of work, and the Acapulco Open is right there ready for you to tune in. I saw a little bit today of the Acapulco. I saw a little bit of the Dubai. Good stuff. I'm very excited to see the rest of the week. I think if I was to do predictions on who's going to win, I think the easy answers for me would be just straight up go with Djokovic to win Dubai. He's won it before. He's won it 5 times. He's hungry. I'm sure he's going to let out a lot of his frustration that he had with the Australian Open into this draw. So if you draw Djokovic, like, it's going to be tough, man. He's definitely going to, I feel like he's going to, like, channel all of that anger and animosity and, annoyance, all of that stuff that he felt from the Australian Open. He's going to channel it into his game. And you don't want to see a, motivated, mad Djokovic, because it's scary hours, man. It's scary hours. So I think that's the easy pick, Djokovic. And now with FAA withdrawing, Djokovic and FAA haven't played before, I believe. So I do think FAA, with the form that he was in, getting his maiden trophy, getting over that hump, getting to another final, like I know it was a grueling schedule, and I've already talked about it. It makes sense why he withdrew. He's looking at Indian Wells. But I think it would have been just another more, hurdle in Djokovic's path to the championship. But now, you still got Sinner, you still got, Shapovalov. You got even my boy Andy Murray still in there doing his thing. You got Rublev, you got Karatsev, you got Sinner. There's going to be a lot of people fighting for this title. But ultimately, I think a motivated Djokovic, trying to keep that number 1 spot. He does say that, eventually someone's going to take it. Medvedev, keeps saying that eventually, someone's going to take it. I wouldn't mind it being me. Everyone's downplaying the situation, but it is important, dude. There hasn't been a number 1 player in, like, forever. That hasn't been Djokovic, Federer, or Nadal. So if it happens this week, it's going to be history. It's going to be first time in forever. But I don't think Djokovic is ready to give it up. And I think he's going to defend his points. He's going to get to the final, and he's going to probably win it. Like I said, the draws are very impressive, but Acapulco is definitely tougher than the Dubai. Nothing against Dubai. Very important draw too. Very exciting draw. But like, Felix is not there. Rublev, he's 7th now. Karatsev has fallen like to the 20s, I believe, or late teens. Sinner's still there. Like, I think he's like 10 or 11. So it's a good, interesting draw. Shapovalov is there. I believe he's like 14 or 13. There's good players in it. I could see potentially someone upsetting him. Rublev is in a good form too. Semifinals of Rotterdam. He just won the final against FAA, got revenge. There's some young guys in here. Karatsev, maybe he could turn the season around. He hasn't been that great. I could see people giving a scare to Djokovic, but ultimately motivated Djokovic, mad Djokovic, frustrated Djokovic. It's gonna be scary hours, man. I'm saying. I think Djokovic should win the ATP Dubai Tennis Championships. And now if we switch over to the ATP Mexican Open, this is where it gets a little more interesting. This is a star-studded lineup. I forgot what tweet I saw, but there's only been like 2 ATP 500s as stacked as this like in the last 12 years. I forgot which one it was. I saw the tweet. I'll try to post it. I'll try to put the link on the description. If I can't find it, I apologize. But just know that the Acapulco draw is just fucking stacked, man. You got Medvedev, you got Nadal, you got Berrettini, you got Tsitsipas, you got Zverev. Like, bro, the Medvedev number 2 player in the world. Number 3 is Zverev is there. Tsitsipas number 4 is there. Nadal number 5 is there. Like Berrettini, I believe he's like 6 or 7 or 8. One of those twos. Like this is this is such a star-studded. Carlos Alcaraz was supposed to be there, but he's not there. Nori's there. There's a lot of good. My boy Taylor Fritz is there. So many good players, man. This is ridiculous. This is a star-studded lineup. My heart wants to bet with Nadal. That's my guy. I just want him to keep climbing the rankings. But like I said, Nadal has to take care of his body. He has to prepare for the clay season. He has to make sure that he goes into the clay season at 100%. So I could see him taking it a little bit easy, chilling. Not chilling, but, just keep the eye on the prize, man. Indian Wells is around the corner. Everyone's going to be there too. You want to do good at Indian Wells. Acapulco has been great to you. You've won it before. But all I'm saying is that if he doesn't win it, it's not the end of the world. There's other tournaments. Clay season's around the corner. So my head is telling me to go with somebody else. So if it's not Nadal, then obviously Medvedev. Even with Nadal there, he should be, the favorite. It's a hard court. And then can Zverev turn the season around? He's had a rough start to the season. Tsitsipas has a decent start. He could cause some trouble. So I think I want to go Medvedev. But I think I'll go with Tsitsipas. I think Tsitsipas is a good bet. It's a good, I can see it. Medvedev would be the easy pick. I can't see Nadal winning it just because he just won the Australian Open. Clay season's around the corner. Like, I think he has to save himself a little bit or, pace himself. I know he had some time off between the Australian Open, but I'm thinking long term. Nadal fans don't get mad at me. He's my favorite player all time. But if I had to make a prediction, I think Tsitsipas wins the Mexican Open. And yeah, you heard it here first. I got Djokovic, Tsitsipas. If Tsitsipas does win this would probably be up there and it's one of his best titles. He's never won an ATP 500. He's like 0-6 now that he lost to FAA at Rotterdam. But I think, favorable draw, I would say. This is his side of the bracket a little better. Let's see. Yeah, he got Zverev. He got Brooksby. Carlos Alcaraz just dropped out. Cameron Norrie just won the title, but how much legs does he have left? Yeah, so I think Tsitsipas could get it done. The other side has Medvedev, Nadal, and Berrettini, which are gonna all duke it out. And this side has Tsitsipas, Zverev, who hasn't. I want to go with Zverev too, but his season has not been that great. He hasn't started the season that great. If you see those YouTube comments, you'd see people are hating on that. This is the natural Zverev, good end of the season, win the ATP finals, and then suck at the beginning of the season. So we'll see. But yeah, I think Tsitsipas wins Acapulco Open, and I think Djokovic wins the ATP Dubai. Those are my official picks. But switching over to the Premier League, the title race is back. Shout out Tottenham. Tottenham defeats Manchester City 3-2 in Manchester City in the Etihad after losing a 2-1 lead late to a penalty, which could be controversial. It hit his hand. It didn't hit his hand. Whatever. Arsenal fans are saying that similar play happened to them not too long ago and it didn't get called. Whatever. City gets the tying goal. It looks in stoppage time. It looks like, damn. It's still a good result for Tottenham. I think they lost their last 3 heading into this game. So it's still a good result for them. And then they pull the unthinkable. Harry Kane gets the winner late after having a goal nullified just like 30 minutes earlier because of an offsides. They get the win 3-2. It's an all-time classic game. If you didn't watch that game, make sure to watch the highlights. Tottenham versus Manchester City this past weekend was probably the game of the season, or it's up there, man. It was amazing. It had everything. It had VAR. It had goals called back. It had controversial penalty. It had, great commentary, great, insightfulness. It had the weight of this season hanging in the balance. It's like, dude, if Tottenham's just able to get this victory, like, it'll be a 3-point lead for City on Liverpool, and they have a game in hand, and they're playing in April, and it's just like, dude, we want to see a title race. We don't want to see as far as neutrals or people that aren't City fans or Liverpool fans, like, we just want to see a title race. We don't want to see City just run away with it. We want to see a title race, and thanks to Tottenham, shout out to Kane, we have a title race, dude. It's great. Are you guys excited as I am? Like, I'm pumped up. I hit up my Liverpool homie, Matt, who's been on the show, who's probably going to be on the show soon to talk about more of this. But when this happened, when they took the goal away from Kane to push it to 3-1, I was like, no, it's not in the stars, man. It's not in the stars. It's not going to happen. City's going to come back. They're going to score a tying goal. They're going to, lift themselves with that far, taking the goal back. And Tottenham's gonna blow it, man. Like, they just lost 3 in a row, but they held on. Lloris had a howler in the first half, but he made it up in the second half. Had a lot of important saves. Harry Kane looked amazing, dude. He hasn't been that great this whole season. He's had his up and downs, more downs than ups, but he definitely showed City like what they're missing out on. Yeah, you don't need a striker. Yeah, your system can be played with the false 9. You don't need a regular out and out number 9, but man, if you had Harry Kane, it would make your life so much easier, and he showed it. So shout out to Harry Kane. He balled out. He showed Guardiola, he showed City what they're missing out on, and I could definitely see Guardiola going up to his board and being like, bro, did you just not see the masterclass this guy put on tonight at Etihad? Like, we gotta go get this guy. Like, throw that money at Tottenham. But man, what a game. Amazing game. Like, I literally became a Tottenham fan like the whole second half, especially when they took that 2-1 lead and they were holding on for dear life. I was like, dude, like, just hang on, please. I want to have a race. I don't want City to run away with it. That's not fun. I'm a Wolves fan, and we're fighting for top 4, and I'm happy for how my Wolves are playing. Shout out Bruno Lage. But as a Premier League fan, as a fan of football, I want to see a competitive race. I want to see it go down to the last week or two. And for a second there, in the beginning, middle of January, it looked like City was going to run away with it. It looked like, the AFCON, the Africa Cup of Nation, was going to disrupt Liverpool, and they were never going to be able to catch up to City. But now we're just 3 points away, and anything's possible, and I'm super pumped. So shout out Tottenham. Shout out Liverpool for not, dropping points when Mane and Salah were gone. And let's do it, guys. Premier League fans, rejoice. We have a race, man. We have a championship race, and we got a top 4 race, and we got a Europa League race, and it's gonna be great. This season still has a chance to be one of the all-time greats. Like I thought before the season, it's not gonna be a top 4 race. United fell apart a long time ago, and then Chelsea followed after. But it looks like Liverpool and City are going to go down to the wire, and that should make everyone happy. The NBA All-Star Weekend has come and gone, and it was a mixed bag, man. Steph Curry, the Stars lit it up. The All-Star game itself wasn't bad. It was entertaining. LeBron had that game winner to close it out. They celebrated the 75 best in the NBA. That was cool. It was nice to see Jordan. It was nice to see all the grades. Garnett, even Pierce. It was all right. They had a little slight look or ignorance of at Ray Allen. So that was a little funny. It was nice to see the grades there. Obviously, it was sad not to see Kobe there. That was a sad moment. He should have been there rejoicing with the greatest 75 of the NBA. But overall, man, like, the dunk contest was atrocious. It was terrible. It was probably one of the worst ones we've had in a while. It was boring. There was no excitement. They kept failing. Like obviously, I don't want to harsh them, judge them too hard. Like people are gonna be like, bro, you can't do better. You can't. All right, I get it. I can't, but I'm just judging it on the NBA spectrum, on the spectrum of NBA dunk contests. It was probably one of the worst ones. The crowd was not into it. They took too many attempts. I think that killed the excitement. Even if they would have hit it like first time, most of those dunks weren't anything like ridiculous. Obviously, Levine and Gordon like raised the level so much that the years after, anything after that is gonna feel like a letdown. But even if you wouldn't have the Levine and the Gordon, even if you compare it to other ones, this one was still let down. Like I said, the crowd was not into it. They took too many attempts. Even I think the final round was even worse than the main round. Like Toscano, I understand. I love you, my guy, but like you took way too much. Shout out for repping Mexico. The kicks were dope. The jerseys were dope. Like, the swag was dope. The tire was dope, but the attempts were not it. That dunk contest was atrocious. It was like everyone was like, "All right, let's wrap it up." D Wade said it best. Like this whole dunk contest is a 6. Like it's bad. It was bad. Let's be honest. It was bad. Like they gotta fix that. They gotta get more stars into it. It can't just be a bunch of role players in the dunk contest. Like the champion from last year should come back and defend it. There should be some parity. They should change it. They need to get stars into it. They need to make it a little bit more interesting. I don't know. They got to do something because this is not working out. Like, I feel like for the most part, the last few dunk contests after the Levine versus Gordon, it's been kind of disappointing. There has to be something else. Incorporate a one-on-one tournament or something. Change it up. There has to be something because the 3-point contest is still exciting. It's still dope. Shout out to Cat for winning it. That was cool. Nothing really has to be said about the 3-point contest. Cat broke the record for most points. Shout out to him, 29 points. He won it. Best shooting big man of all time. Maybe a conversation for another day. I think he's up there. He has a case. It was fun. 3-point contest is always fun. It's always solid. People catch fire. It's entertaining. It's fun. There's nothing we gotta talk about the 3-point contest. It's fun. The setup is fun. The Mountain Dew ball, that little addition they did a couple years ago, that's fun. That's great. The game itself, not bad. Obviously, it's just a scrimmage, just a pickup. There's no defense. 3-point contest, 3-point shots are dope. Curry scoring 16 threes is dope. All the dunks they do, probably better than the dunk contest. That's fun. It's cool. But I think the skills challenge, they changed it up a little bit. I think it was cool. But the dunk contest feels like it needs to be revamped, or I don't know. You can't end on a dunk contest that's that disappointing. So something has to be done. The All-Star weekend was good. It was great to see all the greats out there. It was sad. I definitely had a sad moment thinking about Kobe and how he should be there, collecting his flowers, being the center of attention, showing his personality, showing that big smile, showing that presence that he always carries himself with. I think that's what resonated with me the most this All-Star weekend, that just Kobe's not there and he should have been there. And we got to appreciate LeBron. We got to appreciate Michael Jordan. It was great to see Michael Jordan out there with everybody else, laughing it up, showing some love. Michael Jordan could be a little cold sometimes. He could, turn his shoulder to a lot of people a lot of times. He's not the warmest to the current generation of NBA players. He stays out of the limelight a lot of times, even though he's an owner. So it was nice to see him out there, kind of grab-assing a little bit, hugging people, giving them little punches, giving little like jabs, what I'm trying to say, just like in good nature, like, like, what's up, man? How you doing? It was good to see him. It was good to see all the greats there. Like I said, I wish Kobe was there. Shout out Kobe, R.I.P. my guy. But yeah, All-Star weekend was cool. It wasn't anything crazy. I think we all just gotta accept that any All-Star game, for the most part, it's not gonna be fireworks. It's not gonna be anything crazy. It's just gonna be a good time for the NBA players to take a break. Put their feet up, play some poker in the locker room. Just kick back and have a good time. If you go into the All-Star weekend expecting, the dunk contest to blow you off your chair, if you go there trying to see a very competitive all-star game, and you want to see the best players actually like competing and going all out and playing good defense, and just having a best show ever during the all-star game, you're gonna be let down. Like, you just gotta understand that this is a break for the players. It's a celebration of the players that are having a good season, and they're just there to have fun. They're there to chill. They're there to spend some time with all the elites in the league. This year, it was a good time to acknowledge all the greats from the NBA, and overall, good All-Star weekend. Could be better. Let's see if they revamp the dunk contest, if they add something else for that day, maybe a one-on-one contest or something. That'll be dope. Overall, good All-Star weekend. And to end this, we got to talk about LeBron and Bronny. LeBron has stated before, but this weekend he reiterated that whoever gets Bronny is going to get LeBron. Whoever drafts Bronny is going to get LeBron. Now, keep in mind, LeBron, by the time Bronny is eligible to be in the NBA, if he goes one and done in college, LeBron will be 40 years old. And it's kind of been insinuated that LeBron is just going to play 1 year. So the question I have is, like, which team is going to just want LeBron for 1 year to get Bronny? Like logistically, does that make sense? Like, LeBron didn't win it his first year with the Lakers, didn't win it his first year with the Heat, didn't win it his first year with the Cavs, if I remember correctly. So, or maybe he did, but for the most part, it takes a year or two to gel, to get stuff going. And like, at that point, LeBron's going to be 40, and is he going to play his age 41 season? Like, and how good is Bronny going to go? Like, are you just wasting a first round pick getting Bronny to get LeBron? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know how the logistics of that will work. I do want to see LeBron and Bronny play. I think it'll be dope to see a dad and a son play together in the NBA. Ken Griffey Jr. did it in baseball, but their rosters are bigger, so it's easier to do it. Man, both of them were good. Ken Griffey Jr. was probably the best prospect. So it's not the same. Bronny is projected probably to be a second round pick. He's not projected to be like an elite prospect. So I think LeBron is just guaranteeing that his son's going to play in the NBA. He's going to have that experience. He's going to be able to put that jersey on. And I'm not mad about it, dude. This happens everywhere else in every profession, dude. You see people make it, up the ladder in a company, and boom. Like my son, your son, their sons are guaranteed like at least some position in the company. And when it comes time to promote, best believe that the son of one of the managers is going to have, first dibs at that promotion. And if the CEO has his son in the company or something, best believe his son's going to be a candidate for any type of pay raise or promotion. And that's just the way life is. Like, you get it. People are going to take care of their own. Parents are going to take care of their own, dude. When like, that's how the real world works. So if LeBron is trying to do the same for Bronny, if he's trying to get him a spot in the NBA, like, dude, I get it. That's how the life works. Like, obviously, I may be able to comprehend this because I'm not going to the NBA. I'm not fighting for a spot. If I was a player that, it's in the same year and I'm probably ranked a little bit higher than Bronny, and I might not even make it to the NBA, even though I'm, I have a higher ranking than Bronny for my class, I might feel slighted. I might feel like, damn, that should have been my spot, dude. Like, I had a higher ranking coming out of high school. I'm a better prospect coming out of college, and you're in the NBA just because your dad is the all-time great, possibly the greatest player of all time. Like, duh. Like, yeah, that's how it works, dude. Just suck it up. That's how it works. That's how the real world works, and that's just how it is. So I have no fault in LeBron doing that. If I'm Bronny, is that what I want? Maybe not. Like, if I know I can't make it to the NBA, I might just take my L and be like, you know what, Dad? Like, I don't need all this pressure. I don't need you to do all of this for me. Like, I could do other stuff with my life if the NBA is not for me. But I could also be a little selfish and be like, yeah, dude, like, plug me up. Plug me the fuck up, man. Get me on a team. And, like, I'll promise I'll work hard. And maybe once I'm in the league, I could just keep working. And eventually, like, I'll be a rotational player. I'll be, the fifth best player, the fifth best starter or something. I might be able to make a career once I'm already in there. So plug me up, dad. Like, let's do it. So, am I mad about this? No, I think LeBron is doing what a lot of parents would do given his situation, given, Bronny is a talent and he does have a chance to make the NBA. I'm not mad about it. I'm just, the logistics as from the team perspective, I don't know how many teams are actually going to bite on LeBron being, being their face of the franchise, because wherever LeBron goes, he's going to be the face of the franchise. And if LeBron and AD can't do it with the Lakers, and Russell Westbrook, I know they don't mesh, but you got all those three players and they can't even sniff a regular playoff spot. Your team better be good if you're going to get LeBron, because LeBron and AD are struggling. So does getting LeBron really at age 41, is it really going to take you anywhere? I don't want to talk down on LeBron, but I mean, if anyone can do it, it'll be LeBron. But it's just a lot. There's still so many years to be had. Unfortunately, LeBron has been dealing with more injuries as he's getting older. Nothing too serious, but we don't even know how his body's gonna be at that time. We don't even know how good of a player he's still gonna be. We just gotta wait and see. But main takeaway from this is I applaud LeBron for doing that for his son, basically guaranteeing him a spot in the NBA. And I'm interested to see how if someone really bites for it, or if it all just becomes a footnote and no one really overdrafts Bronny to get LeBron and they never get to play together. I do want to see it happen though, so I'm rooting for someone to actually do it, but we just gotta wait and see. But that should do it for episode number 86 of the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. Like I said earlier, I apologize for lagging it on the episode for so long. I've been busy, I've been, work and other stuff, but I'm back now. Episode 86, 87 should be out soon. Make sure to stay tuned to the Acapulco and Dubai. It's going to be great tournaments. And the Premier League race is back. I'm super pumped. Have a great rest of your day.